What's up, everybody? This is Matthew Giraldi with the Fantasy Authority. Today, we're going to be talking about Diontae Johnson from the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to try and make sense out of his ADP because right now it seems like we're paying pennies on the dollar for what could be a wide receiver 1 season from a guy that's going as the wide receiver 2, almost a wide receiver 3 this year. So let's get to it. Obviously, so Johnson, he had the 144 targets last year. He had 88 catches. He had 900 receiving yards, 923 to be exact. He had 7 touchdowns. I mean, honestly, for a guy that missed 2 games and he was benched in 1, look, that's pretty good production. And it's just about close to what we're seeing from guys like Terry McLaurin, Robert Woods, but he's not going at the same ADP as those guys. So what is up? Well, again, let's try and figure this out. Let's try and get to it and try and make sense. So Johnson, again, he had those great stats. Obviously, we know that Pittsburgh likes to throw the ball. They threw the ball the most in 2020. They threw the most in 2018. Obviously, in 2019, they had Duck Hodges and they had Mason Rudolph throwing the ball, which you can ask anybody, that's not going to win you a lot of games, and it didn't. But Johnson, over the past 2 years, he's just been a target hog. He's obviously, nobody likes him because he has some of those advanced peripheral stats that it doesn't fly off the pages. It's not sexy. His yards per route run, they were 51st in the league. Yards per target, he was almost 100th in the league. Yards per reception, he was 88th in the league. Obviously, these are stats that, he's not going to get you the 50-yard bombs. He's not going to get you the Deshaun Jackson kind of big plays, but he didn't need to. Again, this is a guy that his ADOT, and I know air yards are popular, stuff like that. Look, I mean, at the end of the day, he's still producing fantasy numbers. Some of those advanced stats, they really don't mean a lot. When we're looking at what's going to win fantasy championships, at the end of the day, we know fantasy points is. You need targets in order to get catches. You need catches in order to get yards. You need yards in order to get touchdowns. I mean, it makes me think of movie Beethoven. If I'm going to change my pants, I got to change my shirt. If I got to change my shirt, I got to change my jacket. If I change my jacket, I got to change my belt. It just, we oversimplify things, and then it kind of makes it a lot easier to find the good targets that we're going for. So again, when you see these stats that say his yards per target are crap, when you see that, he doesn't get a lot of catches down the field, it doesn't matter. Stick to what you're good at. And Ben Roethlisberger sure knows, more often than not, Diontae Johnson's good at catching the ball. Again, then that leads to probably the biggest complaint and criticism of Johnson. And, it pains me to say it, but, we got to talk about it. And that's the drops word. Everybody seems to be talking about it. Obviously, one of his rookie companion over in Cincinnati, Jamar Chase, now he's dealing with the drops criticism. And we need to stop it. Like, they're smarter people than me that talk about this stuff. Matt Harmon over at Reception Perception, look, he went on a rant within the past month or two about this very thing. And I'm going to take it from someone like him who, again, he's smarter than me. He follows these receivers all the time. Look, I mean, DK Metcalf drops passes. Tyreek Hill drops passes. A.J. Brown drops passes. All of these elite receivers drop passes. The thing is that they're getting the volume. That's what we got to focus on. I mean, if you told me that Diontae Johnson is going to get 140 targets in 2021, but he's going to have the same amount of drops as he did last year, sign me up at his price. Sign me up, a full round earlier than what he's going for. It's just, the upside is there. And, sometimes we just make this game about a game a little bit more complicated than we need to. So again, if we're talking about drops, I mean, unless you got a license to ill, RIP MCA, or unless you're going to drop a like or some comments in the video, like we just need to not worry about drops right now. Like move on into the important stuff. And that's, again, opportunity. Johnson has a ton of it. And, obviously one of the other things that we're going to have to focus on is, is he a relative value compared to his teammates? We got Chase Claypool, we got Juju Smith-Schuster. Now you got Najee Harris. Obviously, everybody's kind of gung-ho about the rookie running back. It's also kind of creating a false narrative, or at least like a Mandela effect for us. The Steelers, they throw the ball. Over the past few years, I mean, it's been a pass-happy offense, regardless of who their offensive coordinator is. They're going to be having a new coordinator this year in Matt Canada. It's not going to matter, though. I mean, in 2020, they led the league. In 2018, they led the league. In 2017, they were 6th. In 2016, they were 10th. 2014, they were 6th. All those in passing attempts. The last time the Steelers were even in the top 10 for rushing attempts, it was over a decade ago. They had Rashard Mendenhall running the ball then. Yeah, Le'Veon Bell, he had 300-plus carry season for the Steelers, and that's it. So, I know that, we think that Najee Harris is going to do what he's going to do as an explosive rookie running back. So he's really not going to affect Johnson's numbers in the red zone. He's not going to affect Claypool or Juju's numbers in the red zone. We're going to be seeing the same kind of usage more than likely in the red zone for the Steelers running the ball. Last year, it was 48 rushing attempts between James Conner and Benny Snell in the red zone. They had 10 total rushing touchdowns. We really don't need to be worrying about the ground game, particularly in the red zone when it's coming to Johnson's usage. In between the 20s, he's a target hog for Roethlisberger. And honestly, at the end of the day, Johnson's usage didn't really come in the red zone anyways. And it's really not going to affect his red zone numbers or his total numbers at all anyways. At the end of the day, Johnson's usage, he was between the 20s. Roethlisberger loves him between there. He loves them on those 10 yards or less from the line of scrimmage passes over the middle. It's just Johnson, he's not used in the red zone to where Najee Harris or any of that is going to really affect him. He had just a total of 10 red zone targets last year. 5 of them, they were inside the 10-yard line. So that was good. And 4 of those touchdowns came in the red zone. But, the bulk of Johnson's work, that comes elsewhere on the field. So Najee Harris, we don't need to worry about him vulturing touchdowns or anything like that. So, end of the day, we're looking at a high-powered offense that's going to throw the ball. They're going to be up there in terms of the top 10 or so in pace of play, which means we're going to get more targets. We're going to get more plays. We're going to get targets. We're going to get opportunity. It's just, it's a fantasy favorite offense. I know it gets left behind from teams like the Cowboys and Chiefs and whatnot, but, at the end of the day, man, get that wide receiver one from an explosive pass-happy offense. And, nothing's really changed. It's going to be Diontae Johnson.